my favourite lady at the NAMM show, Diane here from Martin.
I'm so lucky to know you. And listen, this is a very exciting corner that we're starting on.
We are. I'm going to stand up. My knees are about to give way.
All right,
and I'll just keep the photo. I'll keep it on you though. You tell us what's happening, Diane.
This is the corner where we're talking about a new line of guitars for the NAMM show called the Authentics. Now this is very exciting. We have, of course, the very first guitar that was ever stamped D28 in the museum. And it was actually a 12-fret model. We also have one of the first 14 frets. We have one of the first orchestra models, one of the unusual one of two D45s from 1936. So somebody said, wait a minute, why don't we recreate those guitars absolutely, perfectly from top to bottom? And what this required was us sending these guitars to Washington, D.C. to have them x-rayed and scanned. Can you imagine that? So now we have the internal appointments and placements and measurements of every single aspect of these instruments. You'll notice the barrel to heel is so incredibly different from what we do today. Remember, these were all done by hand, so there were absolutely no machines used in the 1930s, so all the corners were really, really soft. So here's the thing you want to remember about the Authentics that's common to all of them. They all utilize what we call now hide glue. Hide glue is very different from international wood glue. It crystallizes much harder, and also the contact between the wood pieces is very different because there's no bubbles. And this is completely constructed with hide glue. The serial numbers on the inside of all the Authentics will be hand stamped. In fact, these guitars will actually go through the custom shop to be completed. The frets are called T-frets. Now let me explain what that is. Mostly the way we do frets now, we take the frets and we bang them in with a little mallet. Back in the day we used to slide them in the side, hence the T shape and the T name. These guitars will feature these T-frets. I've talked to you about bracing in the past. The X brace on this guitar is rear shifted, not forward shifted. What does that do for the sound? It actually gives a more balanced sound. The forward shifting gives you more volume. The rear shifting gives you balance. Listen to the balance of that 12-fret big-bodied dreadnought guitar. The woods, Adirondack, because that's what we used. Ebony, of course. But instead of Brazilian rosewood, which is not only illegal but incredibly expensive, Madagascar rosewood.
Wow.
Now these guitars also feature an unusual truss rod. We didn't have an adjustable truss rod in those days. The truss rod on the guitar in 1931 was actually ebony, and that's what this guitar has, a non-adjustable ebony rod. So, for example, have you visited the Martin Museum, or you've heard about the Martin Museum? We have the #1 first ever stamped D28 in the museum. This is a perfect copy of that guitar at a fraction of the price that we had to pay for it. So, now the next one, this is a 1931 D28. Slotted headstock, 12 frets. In 1934, we made the first 14-fret D28. This one is from 1941, based on our killer. Oh man, this guitar is just so good. The truss rod on this guitar is now not ebony, but what we call a T-rod. In 1934, we began to use the T-rod, but it's still non-adjustable. You still have hide glue, all of these incredibly hand-carved, barrel-to-heel, spectacular braces. It put exactly where we put the one. It's a perfect clone of our 1941 D28, Madagascar. Now, very exciting, in 1933, we did the first Sunburst orchestra model. Now maybe some of you will remember the orchestra model was the first 14-fret steel string guitar to be a standard in 1929. Called the orchestra model because it was made for a banjo player who wanted to play with the banjo and mandolin orchestra. This Sunburst orchestra model is the show darling. Listen to how loud it is for a small body guitar. What you have here now is the first Martin guitar that's forward shifting. So this is now an orchestra model forward shifting Adirondack top with this gorgeous Sunburst, genuine South American mahogany. Again, hand-shaped, barrel to heel, spectacular hide glue construction. And you know, the other thing about these guitars is they're all going to come with a authentic Harptone case. Harptone was the company that made the cases in the 30s and 40s, and TKL bought Harptone and actually are replicating the Harptone cases. Now the good news for the UK,
make an authentic series where we actually
you may have heard of a D18 Golden Era. And the D18 Golden Era was an amazing guitar, but couldn't get it in the UK. Why? Because the head plate was Brazilian rosewood. We fixed that. The head plate on this baby is Madagascar. So if you've ever wanted a pristine I can tell you the exact year. 1939 D18. This is millimeter for millimeter, exactly like the guitar we have in the museum from 1939. Wow. Wow.
Imaging to see how the bracing was done. So this is supposed to replicate.
Chris.
Yes.
Let's go over here.
Okay. Isn't she amazing? I've told her before, if she ever gets bored of working for Martin,
now listen
wants to
to
live
this.
in the UK, she can come work for Andertons. She'll be our best paid member of staff.
Here's the thing, you know, those guitars, those authentic series, that's a museum collection guitar. That's a guitar you don't want to take to a gig. Anyway, you can't put a pickup on it. You know why? Because it has a long bone, dropped-in glued saddle. But what if you want to have the sound of an authentic museum Martin guitar, the Retro series? Here's why the Retro series is so cool. From the outside, it looks like the Authentics, but it plays like a modern 2013 guitar. You got a performing artist neck shape here, so it's so tapered. It's just so comfortable to play. And it's got amazing 24-bit signal processor F1 Fishman Aura system here. What does that mean? That means it's got a pickup, but it means that 9 recordings of our original 1939 D18 have been embedded in here so that you can access, and those recordings, by the way, were made with vintage microphones. So this behaves like it's donor guitar. This actually responds sonically through a PA or an amp, like it sounds like our museum guitar. No one else can do that. The Retro series comes in a D18, an OM28, a D45, and a D28.
Nicely modeled there.
A couple of new cool things. The Performing Artist series, which is so wonderful because of the neck, the cutaway, and the separation of the end-pin jack and the strap button. We make them in a variety of materials so that can be affordable. This is HPL, of course. You may know it's compressed wood fiber. We have it now in a mahogany shape. But here's a Performing Artist guitar I'm very excited about. I'm not a bass player, but I love this acoustic bass. Wow. Sapele, spruce top, F1 analog pickup system. This is such a cool acoustic bass at a really affordable price. Something new for us, 17 series with a sunburst. So think 15 series with this all genuine South American mahogany back and sides, spruce top with this sunburst. Two versions, a 12 fret triple O with a slotted headstock and a dreadnought. I know you're all ukulele crazy. This is a signature ukulele. I can't pronounce his name.
Let me see.
All over the internet.
Oh, Israel Kamakawaki Oweli.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Quilted mahogany.
He looks like a healthy guy.
Super backstrip. Yeah, he does. This looks like a soprano on him, I think. But wow, what a great player. He's unfortunately deceased. This is a posthumous honoring of him.
Right.
Beautiful hibiscus inlay
Well,
on
there you
the
go.
fingerboard.
From the home of the ukulele.
Check the tuning gears.
Oh, they're old school, aren't they?
And they're planetary, so they're geared. They're excellent.
Oh, they're not just, they look like little kind of plastic, but
No, they're great.
it suits you.
Now I got to show you this guitar, Lee. It's awesome. We're in the Martin Custom Shop area now.
Right.
And they started a program about 2 years ago that they would do a custom shop instrument in a limited number only for that year available. This is the Custom Shop OM13, meaning only available for 2013, only 80 instruments worldwide. What makes this pretty amazing? Okay, Madagascar rosewood, Babinga trim, snakewood buttons. Oh man, that's gorgeous, isn't it? Check this out. This is called Swiss spruce. Some people call it moonwood because the Swiss cut wood only in certain phases of the moon. Ebony bridge and fingerboard, beautiful redstone inlays. What's unique about this instrument, it's the first time Martin's ever mixed or blended different internal woods for the structure. So, okay, Swiss spruce top. The X brace is made out of Adirondack. The tone bars are made out of Sitka, and the bridge plate is made out of Madagascar rosewood. This is truly a one-of-a-kind instrument. And this to me is the bargain of this. This is the bargain of the show, okay? Dreadnought, again, Swiss spruce, that kind of moonwood, herringbone rosette, herringbone trim around here, ebony bridge fingerboard, copper snowflake inlay, and that's going to turn. Yeah, and it's actually going to go a little bit green. This was the idea of Seth Abbott. He's a wonderful, wonderful player here in the U.S. Gorgeous Waverly tuners, a performing artist's neck, but check out the three-piece back. That is a Hawaiian koa wedge. And that's not all. In addition to the full gloss dovetail, you get a gold plus pickup. Now, this is an amazing value.
Is there a tonal reason?
No.
Just purely looks
He loved
cool.
it. He loved it. Here you go.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you don't want? Okay. Thank you.
We're still with you. We'll speed these bits up like a Benny Hill video when we just kind of go from one to the other.
That's an amazing guitar. Can I just borrow for two seconds? Thank you. Last year we did a 00 Style 45 Stagecoach from John Mayer. He designed it. We only had 25 pieces, so not a lot of people got it. Check out that inlay. That is just freaking amazing.
And what do you call this shape?
This is a 00 Style 42.
It looks narrower here.
No, it's a 00. It looks narrow here because it's 12 fret with a slotted headstock.
Yeah.
But look, the Cocobolo.
This is their like $1 million a tree wood, isn't it?
It's a gorgeous wood. It's fantastic. Here you go, honey.
This is
John Mayer's.
like the John Mayer, but it's not a John Mayer model.
It is John Mayer's design. It's a John Mayer guitar.
And being sold.
It's called a Stagecoach.
Wow.
It's a 0042 in Coca-Cola.
I love John Mayer. I might have to buy one of those.
The CEO 6 6 is a design from Chris Martin.
It's an unusual.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's actually a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek to another company because it's a sloped shoulder.
Of course.
Sloped shoulder dreadnought. But it's in black with an F1 analog system, and for a black guitar with this incredible gloss finish, it's very well priced. And I gotta show you.
That's super. I love the, like you say, the J45, the Gibson. Brilliant.
This is a show special guitar. What that means is you can't buy it if you're not here. And of course here means only the trade. So Westside Distribution are going to be the ones that are responsible for getting this to the UK. It's a spectacular Engelmann spruce style 42 dreadnought. Look at the headstock. That's kind of weird, isn't it? That's because it matches the back.
Oh, cool.
Cocobolo. This is a D35 on LSD or something. I don't know what happened here. That's a beautiful guitar, isn't it? That is just sensational. There's one other very ornate guitar I want to show you.
Oh, surely not. Hang on, I've just got to show him these as well. Only in America.
Well,
look at that.
These are actually one-offs being sold by lottery, and I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But this is a production model, limited amount. But this is called the Purple Martin. Look at these inlays, Lee.
Stunning. It's very pretty, isn't it?
Gorgeous guitar. Some of these are just absolutely amazing.
See that
Touch
I
that.
don't mind.
Touch that.
Oh, that must have taken someone a long time.
All she did was engrave the aluminum.
So, so the rosette is aluminum?
It's aluminum.
Or as we say, aluminium.
Exactly. You say tomato. It's Clara walnut. And this guitar was actually, the image of this was inkjet printed onto the wood.
Okay. I suspect that'll find someone a nice home in New York, won't it?
These are one-off guitars.
Look at these.
This is not for sale, of course, because this is really welcome to our 180th anniversary. Yes. So I just want to say, I'm looking forward to seeing some of you at Andertons this year, okay?
Yes.
Because it is the short. Paul, looking forward to seeing you. Thanks, Lee.
No worries.